Okay, so back to eggplants.
Yeah.
Back to eggplants. Somebody is winning a free T-shirt actually because of this eggplant right here, which
Yeah.
I have not named. You got a good name for it?
No. I was gonna think of a name from VeggieTales, but
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. What were the names from VeggieTales? By the way, this is Moto Monday, and I'm with my cousin Mason, so we're going to
What's up?
probably goof off most of this whole podcast. But
Larry
Yeah.
the Cucumber
yeah, you had Larry the Cucumber.
and who was the tomato?
Didn't he have an attitude? He had.
I don't know. I forget. I forget who. This is probably bad.
We're going to have to do this on the after show, like
But-
ask people
Yeah,
all the names from
but
VeggieTales.
like a VeggieTales name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those names will name the eggplant. I
Yep.
put out a questionnaire for people. First person in to guess which vegetable is going to bring on the show would win a T-shirt and a sticker pack. So today's vegetable that I'm not sure how Bobby's going to eat. I don't know if he's like one of those eggplant parmesan guys or if he's one of like a stir fry. Or like, are we doing like a stir fry with this or
That's definitely the biggest one I've ever seen.
Parmesan?
Yep.
Italian style? Okay. Yeah, it's got it's got some girth. It's decent.
I think we're going to share it next week.
All right.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I see personally. I'm not the biggest eggplant fan.
Eggplant fan.
Eggplant fan.
Yeah.
That was actually harder than I thought. But if you crisp it, then okay. I just don't like really soft stuff. I like to.
I don't think I've ever had one.
I like crispy edges.
I don't think I've ever had one.
What kind of vegetables do you eat?
All but eggplants.
All but eggplants.
Yeah.
Name
I
it.
picked them, and I didn't even think my mom grows them. Actually, no, I don't know about that, but I've definitely picked them, and I've chopped them up, or however you do it, prepare
You've never
to eat
eaten them.
But I've never eaten them, no.
Favorite vegetable?
Tomato.
Oh, you're weird.
No, they're good.
No,
No, they're good. No, so you don't understand. Store-bought food and vegetables, always bad.
Okay.
It's just like, not like real, grown, local, fresh.
Your
Like,
hippie side's coming out, but okay.
It is. Yeah, no, it totally is. I mean, you can thank my mom for this. You grow your own vegetables, your own fruit, and like I could eat a tomato, pick it out from her garden, and it's juicy, it's sweet, has flavor. You go to like McDonald's or something, you get a tomato on your burger.
Well, that's McDonald's.
Yeah,
They
but
probably came from China.
Yeah, but still, they probably got that from Fred Meyer's or Safeway or somewhere. Either you go to one of those stores, it just doesn't taste good because it's probably grown with chemicals, probably just not fresh. It's probably like a couple weeks old. I don't know.
Fair. So,
Plus, tomatoes are good for your health.
debatable.
No, they are. Look it up.
Debatable.
Look it
I
up.
don't like nightshades. And I got a thing with tomatoes. Tomatoes and onions, I just don't like them.
I don't like onions unless they're cooked, like in soup.
I only like it to flavor. Like, I'll cook a burger in onions,
Yeah.
but then I take all the onions off when I eat the burger. So anyways, totally skip past the intro. Mason Wharton here, number 767. We got the bike he raced
Yeah, we do.
Paula on, and yeah, we were just going over some of the sponsors right before we went on the show. We'll probably loop back around to how your whole Paula trip went, but for people who don't know you, you've already been on the podcast before.
Long time ago, one of the first
It was
10,
a while ago,
10,
yeah.
20
And
episodes.
were you on with your dad?
I was on twice. First couple was just me and you, and then me and my dad.
Curtis?
Yeah, Curtis. And then, yeah, that was
Yeah, it's
within
been a
the first
while, though.
50, I would say. The first
This is 128. We've been doing a few.
50 to 128. If you do the math right, that's a few.
So it's fun to have you back on.
Yeah, thank
I can
you.
actually have family on.
Yeah.
Now I just got to, let's see, I haven't got your sister Katie on, but
You
I have
probably never
got,
will.
okay, but I did get your other sister Jessie.
And you probably
She's got
never
good stories.
get my twin on. Not many people know I actually have a twin.
Yeah, you are a twin.
I am a twin, yeah.
Molly was never really a racer though.
No.
She did some Pee-wee races back in the day.
We used to ride pit bikes a lot.
Didn't she have like an XR50 that she raced?
Yeah, she
Tall
did.
bars?
So this is what happened. She actually had the 12 bars, like 8-fingers. She had the XR50, and we raced in the 50 class. And then we got to the age group where she got older, because we're getting older, little kids, we were racing NPR. She got older, and I got older because we're twins, but she never grew. So she couldn't, I forget because it's been forever, but whatever the age group from the 50 class, if it's like 4 to 6, 4 to 7, I don't know what it is, but she got to an age where she had to be on a 65, but she couldn't fit on a 65. So she had to be forced out of racing.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
And then she just like, I'm good.
she never got in. She didn't really like. She
She's
liked
the
riding.
only
but-
family member that wasn't really into racing.
Yep.
Like, even your mom raced until she broke her back.
Yeah, raced at PIR, got landed on by someone, I don't know, but got back on it, kept riding. Yeah, she never got into it. Actually, a lot of people, it's really awkward, because she would come out of the motorhome at the races, I think maybe to get food at the concession stand. And then since we're twins, we're close, and like she would go to the gate with me. She'd like give me a hug, like good luck. Everybody thought we were dating.
Oh, that's awkward.
It was really awkward. And
That
I
is
had this
awkward.
one moment, we're at PIR, and we get there early, and I'm doing a track walk. And me and Molly are doing a track walk. I think I'm on 85s or maybe 250 juniors, so we're doing track walk. And Chris Aldridge is still like local racing. Molly goes back to the trailer, and Chris comes up to me and says, "Dude, is that your girlfriend?" I'm like, "That's my sister. That's my twin." It's like, "But what do you mean? You guys are like next to each other?" It's like, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's a twin thing, or maybe I'm close to my siblings. But we were just walking the track. I was telling her like, "Oh, look at that corner. Look at that jump."
And
she's
they
like,
thought that was your girl. That's awkward.
yeah. And he's probably not the first person that thought that, because she never comes out of the motorhome unless it was to walk the dog, get food or coffee, and then wish me good luck. So
You know, I did something like that once. I'm not going to name his name because I know he's probably watching, but I knew this guy who was a pretty decent local racer, and he rolled up to the line at PIR with a girl on the back of his bike. He whipped up, she hopped off, high-fived him. He went and was like, wow, he has a better game than I thought. Like, actually was pretty cute. And I congratulated him later when I saw him. Hey, dude, your girl's pretty cute. He's like, bro, I'm single. Okay, my bad. Wait, who was on your bike? And he just looks at me, and he just gets this scowl on him. He's like, that was my mom. Oh, okay. Why does your mom look your age? Oh, okay. I didn't know what to say. Like, he was just giving me a stare down, and like I just stuck my foot in my mouth.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry. I will never talk about your mother again. But, hey, if you don't know, I mean, you don't know.
Have you heard about the Jack Feckler story with?
Wait, no.
Okay, so.
Are we gonna call him out?
No, because it's not a bad thing at all.
Okay.
No, it's not a bad thing at all. My parents are probably watching. This is real funny. So, 85s, you know Jack Feckler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were racing, and 85 days. I'm on a Suzuki. He's on a Suzuki.
Yep.
And same fly gear, same everything, down to the T. Helmet, gear, yellow bike.
Okay.
Same class. We're at the PIR staging. And I'm gonna go up, like I'll go up, and all the kids are sitting in that little huddle. They're all small, and everyone's all crammed together. And my mom walks by, and she just is looking at the back side of who she thinks is me.
Okay.
Because she doesn't see the side numbers. She just
Yeah.
sees, I guess, we didn't have jersey, numbers and names on the back, I guess, or chest protectors. She just sees the helmet, the gear, the Suzuki. That's my son. Goes up, good old slap on the butt, maybe
no.
a grab,
Oh,
kiss
no.
under like the neck of the helmet, says, "Good luck, go get him," and it walks off. And then goes to the top, and his mom's like, "What was that?" Or like, I think something like that. It's like, "Oh, just give him my son." It's like, "That's not your son. That was my son." And I wasn't even there. I was still at like the rig or something.
Oh no.
Super.
Bonnie.
Jack is probably like, "What the heck just happened?"
Oh, Bonnie. That's funny. I did not hear this story.
So nothing bad, but common mistake. Same gear, same bike. Common mistake.
You know, now you bring up the Fecklers. I was thinking actually the other day it'd be a lot of fun to get Jack, John, and Big John. All three.
The whole family, yeah.
All three generations of John Fecklers. On. That would be a fun show.
I would, yeah.
If you're watching, I'm calling you out. But I think that'd be a lot of fun going to some of that old school moto history because they've been around for a while. WPS Fly Days, Mike Suzuki. Yeah. You were. We brought this up on the last time you were on here, whenever that was. It's been a while, but there was a lot of fast guys.
Yep.
When you were racing in the Northwest at the time, like if you think back, I mean, you had to race against Courier, you had Bashilia, you had Shirley, Harriman, Brad Frace, right?
I don't remember.
Was he a little older than you?
Maybe I think he was a little older.
Okay, so
I remember
how old were you?
racing at PIR on 85, 25.
So
I don't know how old he is, but I feel like he's older.
Landon was like a few years older than you.
Yep. I never really raced with Landon until
Brad
big
Frace
bikes.
was a little younger though. So I feel
I
like
don't know.
you guys raced 65s at one point.
I remember 50s, 60s, and 85s.
Who were some of the other like hot shots you had to race against? Didn't you have Connor Mitchell?
I was just going to say, on 50s and 60s and 80s, I don't know if he got out maybe during 80s or...
It was like right when he was getting into 80s.
Yeah, just that guy was fastest 50 rider I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he's wild.
I mean, I'm at that time when I was a 50 rider, and I think even all the parents like this kid. I remember hearing or seeing and remember him hitting the pro double back, and I think when the pro double was a big.
And I think
double.
he did it on like a Cobra Junior, like
Yeah,
the small, the
small
1010.
regular Cobras,
And I remember
not the
he
big
would
ones.
just pin it, sit
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and seat bounce stuff.
Yeah. So him, Colton Scott.
Oh yeah, Colton Scott.
I don't remember if Nolan Byer raced 50s or if I raced with him on 50s or 60s, but I know he was a fast 85 rider.
Definitely 85s. Yeah.
Definitely a fast 85 rider. He was the only 85 rider that rode a KTM.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like everyone's like Yamaha. Kyle Ulrich.
Yep.
Ulrich was fast.
21.
21?
He was number 21.
21? Oh, I don't remember. Yeah. So Ulrich.
I remember because he ran his numbers backwards. They were I'm a graphic designer. He slanted his numbers the wrong way.
No.
Okay, I'm weird. He slanted
I don't
them back.
remember that.
And it bugged me every time I saw it. It stuck in my
So
head.
yeah, so like Colton Scott, Connor Mitchell, Chris Aldridge, Matt Bisceglia, Nolan Byer, Matt Shirley,
Max Harris.
Max Harris.
And you're just a little
there's gotta be
older
more.
than
That's-
Ryan Martin, right?
Yep, older than Ryan Martin.
Just a little older.
Yep, you never really raced with him. There's got to be more.
It was a fast group of kids.
Cody Herzog.
Cody Herzog.
Cody Herzog was fast. A lot of guys were fast. But I remember when I grew up, the 65, the 85s, and getting into 250 junior and intermediate was still top dogs. And I was a little younger than like Michael Pontius, Alec Wass. I didn't really race with them, but they were fast.
Yeah, they were like the in-betweens between you and me because I remember Landon, I was on an 85, he was on a 50.
Yeah.
And I remember, Pontius is always at least a class below me in size.
Yeah, I never really raced with him until big bikes. So yeah.
Alex, same thing. I was on a 125 when he was on an 85.
Mm-hmm.
It annoyed me when he'd pass me.
Alec was fast.
Alec was, and he had some style. Alec had good style. Still does.
I feel like Alec was one of those guys that he didn't have to. I don't know if maybe they all were like this. Maybe I was just young. I don't remember. But I feel like looking back on my memory, Alec didn't have to try. He just hopped on the bike and just rode. Like I don't know. I was young, so I don't remember if he trained for it or not. But like he would hop on that dirt bike and just ride, and he was fast.
Yeah. And he rode and he rode and he rode. Yeah, he looked good doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that era, man, we had so many fast guys. And you look at where a lot of them are today. A lot of them went places.
Yeah.
Like, okay, look at you. You've raced
Whoa, I don't know
Supercross.
about
You've
that.
raced Nationals. Aldridge. He's done pretty decent for
Yep.
himself.
Yep.
Mr. Bashilia
Yep.
has done just fine for himself. I believe he's just training at the moment, right?
Maybe at one of those camps. I think last time I checked, yeah.
I actually messaged him a few weeks ago, and if he's ever in town, he should probably pop on the podcast. But I think I've been mostly just seeing him training people.
Yeah, I think I have too.
But still, I mean, he obviously made a name for himself
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these guys, Matt Shirley just went back to Loretta's. Like a lot of these guys actually did pretty good. Like that was a fast era. And you had, I got to show you these results I saved from Clark County Arena Cross.
Oh, no.
50cc 7 to 8 class.
Yeah.
Dude, the top 12 of that is like, oh look, he went pro,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all the way down.
Yeah, those were some good times. I don't think. I don't know. I don't remember who was pro during that time. Maybe it was just me racing that class, but I do feel like when I was racing and all those kids were racing, the 50s, the 60s, and 85 class was like the main race of the night or the day.
Oh, stacked.
I feel like PIR, the 85 class, was like. And I don't remember who was in the pro class, but to me it felt like since maybe I was racing it, that was like the biggest night of race of the night.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
they
know
were
if it
they were
was, but-
stacked classes, and a lot of those guys were going big. Like when I remember the first time you jumped that step down and then the table at PIR on your Pliny 50.
far back gate.
Okay, so if you're sitting on the starting gate to the left-hand side,
Oh,
that step-down
yeah.
bump,
Yep,
they used to
yep,
call it the bump,
yep.
and then they had the table.
Yes.
You hucked both of those on your Pliny 50.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then I remember when Ryder Waite hit it for the first time on his little 1010 Pliny,
Yep.
and like, you don't see a lot of 50s really going for it like that. And there would be literally 10 of you
Yeah.
all just going ham like that.
But now a lot of kids are. I think.
I don't think we have the depth that we
I don't
used
know,
to.
man.
There's a couple hot shots, but we don't see like 10 of them.
Maybe it's just not local, but there's some top dogs. I see.
Okay, maybe national, yes. I'm talking just like local scene.
Yeah, that is true. But I'm seeing a lot of kids that ride these like Stacy bikes or whatever, and I never had that. Even my nephews, they're on they're 4 and my sister's gonna hate me. They're 3 and 5 or.
I couldn't tell you my nephew's
they're
age
about
either.
this,
It's fine.
They're about this height, so they're
Yeah.
that age. If whoever
Mine are the
knows that
same
age. Yeah, they're about
size,
that. Yeah.
yes.
So but they have those electric bikes, and they already know throttle control. There's only a rear brake, not a front brake. And they know how to lean and stand up, and turn and carve, and even Will. I think the 5-year-old, he's trying to pop wheelies and stuff. They're already at that age, like getting it in their system, and like I never even did that. Never hopped on a bike till 7, and then so I feel like they might have a little head start. They still got to do something with it, but they got a head start.
I don't know if we have the aggression like we had back in the day, though. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, go back. I watched Mini Warriors 4
Okay.
back when Josh Hill was 11.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't see 11-year-olds on 85s doing what he was doing. And he had a half dozen other riders that would give him a run for his money every time Loretta's. Think about it, like seeing Davey Millsaps hit a 140-foot table-to-table gap and throw no footers and stuff.
I guess maybe it was because everyone just wanted to be like Travis Pastrana.
I feel like the
Seems like the
aggression. I think we have too many things distracting us now. There's like so many things
Like
to
just
do.
life and yeah.
There's just literally we have too many things to
Yeah.
do, too many video games, too many other kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I look back at some of the old videos and it's like you would think we'd make progress. I don't know if we did. I think we were a little wilder 20 years ago, 10, 20 years ago. I mean, not discrediting the riders we have now. I mean, you look at, just go watch a couple Carson Brown videos. Like, we got some wild people still.
No, yeah, we do.
But, man, it was kind of cool to go back and look at that era. Or even seeing Landon Courier ride his Cobra and throw whips. He would throw whips.
Especially when he was on that 2-stroke. Yeah, he was going
He was
hard.
8 years old,
Yeah.
throwing one-footed whips on his Cobra 50. Like, you don't see a lot of that. And honestly, in that Cobra was probably a turd compared to today's, you know? Like, our bikes have gotten a lot better.
They were smaller and they were slower. Yeah, like bikes are getting better.
Do you remember the old Cobras? It was square. It was just a box. A box seat.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I still hate the time every time that 50 dads pick up the rear seat and just gun it. I get it. You got to warm up the bike. But for 5 minutes, they're just picking it up and rev. Just
I love watching them just destroy their clutch by pinning it and then hitting the rear brake. Pinning it and hitting the rear brake.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good. You're ruining your
And I guess
centrifugal clutch.
we do a little bit on concrete starts to burn out, but that's just get our tire tacky, right? And we do it for a couple seconds or like a couple blips. These guys are. You should probably swap a whole new motor, brake, and just everything, and top off
Destroying
too.
those poor
Top
little
off the
engines.
Gas because the smoke and everything coming out, the tank's probably already burnt through half the tank already.
What's one of your favorite memories from 50 racing? I know you're little and everything, but like, I think you went through one of the best eras for 50 racing in the Northwest. What's one of your good memories from that? Something just stands out. Good, bad, or otherwise.
50.
50s.
50s. Man.
This was back when my dad was selling Pellinis.
Yeah.
We were all big in it. Like, everybody watched the 50s.
Yeah.
It was so big.
Man, I don't know. I do remember that, like, me and Matthew Shirley, I think, like, the only ones on Pellinis, if I'm correct on that. And everybody was on Cobra. And so that was
Colton Scott was on a KTM.
okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I remember this.
You know what? Just jump real quick. I still today have a massive Pelini banner. In my
Oh,
room.
do you?
Yeah. Just Pelini, just massive. I don't know how many are out there still, but I got one.
You don't see a lot of them. They weren't big there for a minute, and
No.
they're not really
Yeah.
big anymore.
Man,
But you had a lot of battles, man.
I don't know about. I can't think of 50 because maybe the concussions, and I can't remember.
I'm
But
with you.
I can tell you a 65 story.
Okay, 65.
I'll tell you 65. And he said I had a lot. But one time I was racing with Colton Scott.
Okay.
It was at Woodland. And do you remember your dad giving me a nickname
No.
and giving Colton a nickname?
No.
You don't remember that at all?
No, I'm normally the one who gives the nicknames. I don't know about this.
Maybe it was you. I don't know. Does Mason the Moose...
Oh, he did. You're
yeah,
right.
Mason the Moose and Colton
I don't
the
know.
Goose? Colton Scott? I don't know.
He did give you that name.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The Moose. Yes.
We had this one race at Woodland, and we were going back and forth. I'd pass him, he'd pass me. I'd go down, he'd go down. To me, it was like the best race ever. Like, in my mind, I have thousands of people watching me on the sideline. There's probably only 50 people because it's Woodland, and it's probably just my parents and then his parents. And we're going back and forth, and I'd go down, he'd go down, and then we'd pass, I'd pass, and I think he ended up winning. And then I think your dad, because I remember this to this day, I think your dad made fun of me. And if he's watching, he commented about this or something, but I think he said, because I lost, he said, Mason Moose is scared of Colton the Goose.
Oh, no.
I remember this, and I don't think I made this up.
Hopefully I did not put it in one of my Cycling News articles.
But it was a great race. We were going back and forth. We were passing each other, and I don't remember all of it, but it was back when they had a lot of trees still. You know how when you pull into Woodland, now I think it's been like a year since I've been there, but you pull in, and then you're on the far right of the property, and then you can either like park all the way, wrap around, or now you could like park right up to the tunnel, where under the finish line. That whole area was covered in trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
It's still weird to me.
it's so amazing, and I remember
They cleared the whole thing.
going down one of those trees or something. He passed me. I think I hit a root from a tree, and that's what made me go down. Because we're going.
Oh, they would come up.
Yeah, they would
especially
just
when
come up.
you get that
'Cause
deep
you would
mud
go
going on.
around.
You would find those roots.
Yeah. So it was a great race. Great. I remember that race a lot, and I also remember what your dad said to me. So I think it's true what he said. It hurt my feelings. I was on a 65, so I was probably 7 or 8, but your dad would say something like that.
I actually have a
motivated
good
me.
picture of you crashing at Woodland on a 65.
Where?
I'll send it to you.
You need to.
Well, I was digging up. I don't know if you knew Mark Bunker, but he passed this summer. So we had Noah Smith on. I was talking to him, and
Yep.
I remembered I had some photos of Marky, and I had to go find them, and I had to really dig back. In that era, I have some pictures. I'm talking like 06 maybe.
Yeah.
Of him throwing whips and stuff on his two-stroke, and then in that same folder, I found Brad Frace on a 65.
Okay.
I found a picture of you tipping over in a corner on yours, and like your feet up in the air. And I found some good throwback ones that were the Holm brothers, Pontius on an 85, just railing, Alec on his RM80 or 85. It was kind of cool to go through the folder, like, wow, look at these photos from like,
Dang.
it's been 14
Yeah.
years.
I got some photos still. My dad has some photos up in the shop, and of all my Pelini, and it's actually a really funny photo because I'm jumping and I feel like I'm trying to whip because my body's off to the side, and apparently this is a thing I do. A photographer in California, Trevor Nelson, takes a lot of photos for local people down there in California. Apparently, a lot of the photos he takes of me and the ones I post, if you zoom in, my tongue is just out. You go back on social media, like a lot of my photos, apparently my tongue's always out, just like on the side or something. But it started at this young age because I have this big blow up photo, all my Pelini, I'm just to the side, my tongue's out wide open. Yeah, good. But I actually remember my favorite memory on a 50. It just came to me.
What do you got?
My idol was Travis Pastrana. So on my Pelini, my number for a little bit before 76, which was my original number before I went pro, was 199. Because I wanted to be just like Travis. I wanted to change my name to Travis. And my parents told me I could not do that. So I was pretty bummed about that. And Bruce Barnes, remember him for announcing?
Brian.
Brian Barnes. My
Barnes.
bad. Brian Barnes.
Brother.
He would testify to this, but my parents and people around. But I would ride around Clark County Fairgrounds, and I would voice my own race as
You'd commentate your
I
own
would
race?
commentate my own race. So I would be racing.
I didn't know about this.
If I'd be in last, I'd be in first, I'd be in second. And Travis Pastrana's taking the right-hand turn, and he's gonna hit the tabletop, and he's gonna hit the whoops, and all the crowd goes crazy. I would commentate my own race, and I thought it was the best time of my life. I had the Bumblebee like helmet that he had. Yeah,
Yep.
I had like the Bumblebee swirl. I had his gear and 199, and I thought I was Travis, and I would commentate my own riding on the Pliny 50.
Didn't your sister talk while she rode too?
Jesse or Katie or
Molly.
Molly talks in her sleep. just
I feel
randomly
like
to
I remember
yeah,
a
I think-
50
maybe
race and
did.
she was just talking
Maybe
the
we
whole
talked to
time.
each other. Maybe we were just, I don't know.
Probably. But she would talk the whole time while she was riding. I'm like, what is she doing?
So my twin and your not younger, second youngest sister, Dakota, used to have a track. Your dad used to have a track
We used to have a track,
at your place.
which we're going to, I need to ask you about yours, but yeah.
We
So we
will,
used to
right
have a
after
track.
Your sister and my sister would stop on the very top of the jump on the
Oh,
face.
yes, they would.
And they'd be like, "How are you doing today? What's up? That corner is really hard. Oh, want to go in the pond and catch or eat tadpoles?" And your dad, my dad, and we would come around and they'd just be talking, just chatting. On the face of the jump or the downside or just that corner. And we would constantly have to tell them, "You cannot stop on the track."
Yeah, like keep going. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they would
Yep.
just randomly have a conversation in the middle of the track. Like
Dakota
you can't,
and Molly on the one
you can't do that. That's not like
do that. No.
let's not do that. That's
Yeah,
a bad
don't do that.
idea.
No.
Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That girl riders, man. Which speaking of, you got beat by one at Paula.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like a Moto. I went down.
So let's go into that. Paula just happened.
All just happened. Yeah.
This is the bike you raced Paula 250
is.
class.
Yeah. It's my little baby, my little girl.
So tell me, I saw the race on video. The track looked a little gnarly. What was that uphill like? That uphill on video, the one
Oh,
where
after the
it-
sand corner?
sharp right at the top?
After the sand corner. You just come down sand, off camber, and then it's like an up to another up to another up.
Yes. That one on video looked pretty gnarly. What's that? I've never ridden Paula.
Paula on
That one looked gnarly.
Paula is an interesting track. It's this was actually my favorite year racing it. I think the track was better. Paula on a regular day is super fast, super blown out.
That's what it looked like. It was like fast, but everything like
It was
degraded really quickly,
It-
like it broke down.
It was slower. They add in. This is like for any track, but especially Paula, because Paula is like, it's like Riverdale sand wash.
Okay.
So when you add all the new dirt that they add in, it's gonna fall apart. You could pack it in, you could track it in, you could water as much as you want, but you're gonna get those guys riding it, it's gonna fall apart, it's gonna break apart. So it breaks apart really easy, plus the kind of sand, loose dirt it is, it doesn't form that well. Plus you got fast guys that don't care about keeping a rut, so they just blow it out. But no, that uphill was tough, because all new dirt, sand. You come off camber and it was up. Massive rocks, massive potholes. Paula is already a place with nothing but rocks. It's like worse than Riverdale, worse than, what's Phil Poto's place? Or Harbor, Grace
Moto
Harbor,
West or Grace
it
Harbor?
used to be, yeah. Like worse when that first opens, like rocks. Like
Grace Harbor used to have a lot of rocks.
lot of rocks, but this place has rocks just everywhere. And there was big boulders and
Did they have it at the National too?
yeah.
Oh.
It was actually pretty funny.
You couldn't. I didn't see any rocks.
Yeah, there were. It was actually really funny because I get down to my first practice, and that's the pros of being 250 practice B. You're the first one on the tracks. The track's smooth. It's money. It still falls apart. But then the 450 rider in my pits, he goes out there and he comes back and he's like, "Dude, there are boulders everywhere." I'm like, I never saw any. So yeah, because they just emerged. You know,
Oh, no.
'cause the good dirt is great, and then you get down, breaks apart, and boulders just come from the main soil, the main
Yeah.
ground, not the added on dirt. So
Ooh.
it falls apart.
Yeah, it looked
a tough
gnarly,
track.
dude. And I was watching, like, as motos would go by, people, like, weren't jumping stuff as clean and weren't clearing. And then, like, I'm seeing holes, and then, like,
Yeah.
they go into a corner,
Yeah.
and they just go gump, and, like, oh, that I don't remember that hole being there in the first moto.
Yeah,
Like,
you usually
it just broke down.
the downhills, the uphills are just you're just skating. You're bouncing the whole time. The jumps, you're going up, and it's like you're going up through whoops, going up to the faces, and you're going through whoops, going down, you land whoops everywhere. And Paul already gets rough, so it was tough. Plus that one double, go downhill, take a left, and a step up that no one could really ever do, and then you took a right. That was so hard to do on a 250. Just, do you know what I'm talking about? After
Yes,
that
yeah.
tough uphill, then you come down.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Not a fun jump. The one that AC wrecked on.
AC wrecked. Did he wreck on it?
Yeah, second moto. He was leading, and then he hit a kicker and wrecked.
I got to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
I think I was I sometimes multitask because
Yeah.
they have UFC fights and motocross sometimes at the same time.
yeah.
So I put them on 2 monitors.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I like both, but they play them at the same time, so I try to like double dip. And then I'm working, usually screen printing at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of things. I don't remember him crashing now. I got to go back and look.
Yeah, second moto. He was in the lead.
I was
Like,
all
the whole
excited
moto.
about the fights
I
that
don't
night,
know,
okay?
The whole moto that he was in the lead, and then I don't know if he was going to get the overall or not, but he went down, and so.
So okay, so tell me this, and this is not to discredit you because
No, you could go ahead. I don't care. You're my
'Kay.
cousin. You can't. I don't think you cannot not do that.
Tell me what's it like, because we got some local hotshot pros,
Yeah.
okay? And you can go to Top Gun or anywhere else, and you're in the thick of it with the guys, okay?
Yeah.
You show up the national though, you got to race against someone like Ferrandis. Mm-hmm. Are they really like that much next level? Once you line, like when you're actually on there with them, is it just?
Well,
Because I mean, especially like there, I know Paul was a little shorter, but they were lapping up into top 10
yeah.
and stuff. Like,
I guess
what's it
it-
like when you line up with them? Do they just have a couple little edges here and there? They just kind of get you on, or is it like
Well,
how the
there's a
heck
lot of
are they-
edges that probably they get on from the top.
But someone like, okay, so you got to race against. I'm just using Ferrandis since he was like the guy this
Yeah,
year, but
yeah.
like you've obviously been on the track next to him, right?
Like practice days all the time. Yeah.
So
Like I rode like that.
is it just like, okay, he's got a few things here and there, or is it one of those like, holy crap, how does he do that?
There's always that moment where you think, how do you just do that? But I think a big difference is there's not a lot that separates like me to him.
Is it just
To
a
the
little
book.
bit more refined?
And it's just
And obviously a good bike.
good bikes, but we all know that it's really the rider majority of the times. But man, it comes down to your mentality, your desire, your wants, your drive, and do you care? Caring is a big thing. It's like I've been training for, well, leading up to Paula in Colorado. I went down to California. I haven't done any racing. My last national before Colorado was last year's Washougal. Then after that was nothing. I rode a little bit. Gonna do Seattle. That never happened because of COVID. I did some local riding, did some local races at Washougal, some small vet races, and I did some PIR ride days. I did Top Gun. I didn't ride.
Okay.
I'm not riding racing. So I went into Colorado and Paula with the week before. It was funny. I texted my trainer, hey, I'm coming down to train. I was like, okay, cool. Are you going to be ready for Paula? I said, I should be. I'm racing Colorado next week. So I'm coming off like a week of riding. So I guess he's training his whole life and he never takes a day off. Mm-hmm. So he's just fresh on his feet. He also is fit. I did 10 laps and I was tired. He needs to make a living. That's his job. If he doesn't, he's going to not get his contract. So it's like he needs to perform.
So
Me,
that sounds all like refinement stuff. He's
Yeah,
just
me, I'm doing
simply
it for fun.
fully focused and refined. But like,
And it's like you. I mean, for me, it's a little different because I could hop on PIR and I could do the pro double first lap with my eyes closed. Unlike say like my dad, he can't. But that's just I've been riding more, so it's second nature to me. But it's even more to Ferrandis because the guy does that day in day out. Eat, sleeps, and rides dirt bikes. And so when he sees a pothole or 10,000 breaker bumps going down a hill, it's nothing to him. I see it. I'm like, I don't want to wreck, so I'm just going to go a little bit slower. And when
Okay.
you think like that, it messes you up. It's like when you're
especially lap
mountain biking,
after lap.
when you're riding and you see a rock, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock, you hit the rock. Ferrandis sees a broken down track, worse track you ever rode. And to you, it's horrible. To him, it's just, I don't see it. It's easy to me. So I think mentality, I think drive, I think if you dedicate your life to it, it's just, that's what separates.
So it's
You just
just
shut
they're
your mind
literally
off.
got everything tuned in fully 110% into what they want to do. But
Yeah.
it's not, you don't ever get the feeling like, okay, this is a superhuman or anything like that. They're just simply
I mean, some
putting,
guys are just, for me.
like I've ridden with some people and then like they'll go by and like, I have no idea how you just did that.
Yeah, like you take like Axel Hodges, like the guy will do a massive jump. You're like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. I would never do that. And some guys are just crazy. Like Travis Pastrana was just crazy
Yeah.
in his time. I think for racers, it just the part that separates us is I ride for fun a couple times a month. He rides, 5 times a day basically.
Fully tuned
Yeah,
in.
yeah. And it's his job, it's his life, and besides their bikes, it's, there's nothing. So I don't know. I think he's just, those top guys are just,
Every bit of them is focused
like-
on getting that.
yeah, it's like more than breathing or easy for them. I don't know, they just do it.
So now answer me this, about the bike thing. So you race 250s.
Yeah,
Why not the 450s?
man.
I've been curious about this as a privateer because
No,
here's,
no.
I want to give my theory, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more expensive to build a race 250
No,
than a
you're right.
race 450.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
So what's the reason? Is it the competition? Is it the payout? You know what I mean? Because it seems like it would be a
little bit of both.
lot
Yeah.
cheaper to
Yeah.
race the 450 because let's be real, full blown
Yeah.
mod 250
Yeah.
engines don't last amazing
No,
long time.
They don't. And I'm a relatively easy rider.
You're a smooth rider. Yeah.
I'm not like a Bam Bam, Justin Barsha. I'm not. I think my old roommate Brandon Leith, if he's watching or not. I remember we lived with each other for a bit. He would go through like 2 clutches a day. I'd go through 2 clutches a year. I'm not an aggressive rider. I'll be in this gear. If I'm in third in a corner and I'm bogging, it's all right. I'll just.
So what's the reason? What's
So
like?
the reason, okay.
I'm curious. I'm legit curious because it
Might sound
seems like as a privateer,
Yeah.
it would actually be more affordable to get a race 450, aka Austin Politelli.
Yeah.
Well, he's also a little big for 250.
That is true.
Yeah. But,
Okay, so this is what it is. I love riding my 450 actually. Like PIR, local riding. I love the thing. It's super fun. When I go to a national, especially Supercross, I've hopped on Supercross on my 450 for fun, scared the daylights out of me. Hopped through the whoops. I went through a triple rhythm section in like first gear, and I could have 5'd it or something. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the bike controlling me.
okay.
When I hop on a 250 and I'm racing Supercross or Moto, I feel like through those rough tracks, through those bumps, through everything, in a 35, I'm not a big guy. And I know there's guys that are built just like me, people are lighter, people are skinnier. So that doesn't really play a factor, but I like that I can control, and I'm only 160, so I'm not that big. I go ride at 250, I'm 6'2". I like that I can control the bike and it doesn't control me. When I ride Supercross, I don't know if it's like riding a pit bike, how you could just force it. You could put it where you want. You could feel confident. And we all know in Moto, confidence is key with not having arm pump. Confidence is key with thinking you could just do any jump you want, conquer the world. I just feel like I have more control and confidence with it.
So you feel like you can control it more so you can be more aggressive racing?
And last longer and just ride better and have a better overall.
There's something to be said about that. A
'Cause-
450 will wear you out.
Yes, because I rode Top Gun, and my best motos were only 250 because they were only 20-minute motos, but I was able to, I didn't do good at Top Gun. I went down like almost every moto. But I would just like dead last in my 250 motos, and I just worked through, and I never got tired, never got arm pump. I just could put the bike here, through the whoops, through the bumps. On the 450, I just suspension. It ripped out of a corner, and I wouldn't be able to hold on. I just, going up the uphills, everything just felt off. I got tired, didn't like it, didn't ride good, didn't want to push. So I feel like when I race that 250, I feel like I control it, and it doesn't control me, and that gives me confidence. I agree. 450, I should ride it. And I love practicing it because I just ride lazy.
But you
Right.
feel like you can race better on a 250?
Yes.
Do you think if we were to go sit down 10 other random 250 privateers, they would say similar things? Or is that just you?
I don't know.
You know a lot of privateer. I mean, you know
I do.
a lot of.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you've had roommates, you've had a
Also,
lot of buddies.
The
Like,
250 class is usually lighter.
lighter as in what
Just
way?
go on to Lucas Oil Pro Motocross live timing, results, pick up all the races. Usually there's like 80 to 90 450 guys and 50 to 60 250 guys. And for a guy that, for me, that rides.
Really?
Look it up. For a guy, for me, that.
I thought the 450
me
class
going
was
to
gonna
Paula
have-
in Colorado,
I
training
must
for
have got this
less,
wrong. I
training for
thought
2 weeks, there's usually 20 to 30 less riders.
I totally thought it was the other way. My bad.
Because 450s are so easier. They're a little more easier, and they're
Let's be real. You throw a pipe and some suspension on a 450, you
That's
can
all
at
you
least
need.
compete.
pipe,
You can
clutch,
compete.
suspension.
Yeah. Like
That's all.
I've had, and
Rim, so you don't get a bad spokes. That's
I've
it.
had 2 Supercross hand-me-down bikes. Okay. Not like little head work and like they're honestly good because let's be real, a stock 450 is pretty quick right now.
Yeah, they
2020,
are.
like
No,
a
they
stock
are.
450.
I
is
love my 450.
pretty quick.
I rode the 21 450 at Top Gun. It's a good bike. I like it.
It's crazy where bikes have gotten to. You go ride a 2001 YZF, you're like, oh, this is like a different animal. This is different.
It's like you know it's worse, but I feel like sometimes they might seem fast or something. You hop on it, it won't have any top end, but the bottom end just like they go, or I don't know.
We've come a
Handshake, you're
long ways on our bikes. I still
Yeah.
think you can be competitive at a local level on anything, honestly.
Yeah,
But the bikes have come a long ways. I don't think we need to make them any faster.
They
think we're
will
good.
be though.
I
I
think
don't
we're
know if they will
good,
be
man.
Faster, but the kids are getting faster. Yeah, the kids are getting faster.
What do you think is going to happen in the next like 10 years? Let's go all futuristic here because
Well, it depends.
we're
if
on
you're,
that verge of electrics kind of coming in.
yeah, well, whatever California said, how they want to take away.
That can change. So I'm not really
No, I know that.
stressed about that.
I know, but if that does happen and they stop selling, was it gas combustion,
Yeah.
just vehicles and just motorized, all that. California is like the hub of dirt bikes. You know what's gonna happen there? Like you got
It's losing that though. More and more people are starting to kind of branch out and kind of get out of it because they're tired of Cali. I mean,
Cali.
it's still the hub.
it's the
but-
hub.
More and more people. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's one of the biggest amateur training camps in the United States? What would you
The
say?
camps. I don't know a lot of
Would you
them.
say Club MX is on the
Club,
list?
Club MX. South
It's
of
nowhere.
The border,
Club MX is
or-
nowhere near Cali.
Yeah. Or whatever. I don't know if one of them's in North Carolina or South. One of those. Club MX.
I think you're going to see
Millsaps,
more. This is my prediction. Over the next 5 years, you're going to see more and more people go to Texas or some of the other like
Yeah.
just down south.
I
Georgia.
see-
I bet you we're going to see more and more Georgia.
I see nothing but Club MX doing good things, and they got great tracks. I follow a lot of people that ride there and photographers there, and the dirt's amazing.
I keep hearing that. I've never ridden one, but I keep hearing the dirt is amazing.
I think a lot of guys on the East Coast are just better riders because their practice tracks are Southwick tracks. They're not Southwick, but they're tracks
Yeah.
like Southwick. They're tracks like Millville. They're tracks like Paul. They're tracks like Florida. They're backyard tracks. Kids on their backyard have sand. They have gnarly heat. And the Club MX, if you look at the tracks, they're I don't know if they got like 10. That's over exaggerating, but I know they probably got like 5. They got a couple supercrosses, a couple outdoors, and
They
it's
got plenty.
nothing but loamy, deep, gnarly national practice tracks. Here in Cali, we don't really have that. We have Glen Helen and Paula, and those are like good tracks, but not. So when you go to the East Coast and you ride Millville, Southwick, Indiana, those kids are riding tracks like their backyard. And
I was gonna.
get
no
there.
offense to Cali, but all the tracks I've seen there are like.
They're hard packing, and they're dust bowls, and they don't form, and
This is like Mountain View on a bad day.
yeah. They don't get the loamy breaker bumps, the gnarly sand berms, the wicked and deep ruts left, right on faces.
They're mostly they're chopped up, dry slick.
just choppy, dry, fast. Rebound like.
Oh, yeah.
da-da-da-da.
I remember my first time to
2
Glen
ruts.
Helen just to watch for a little bit.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking around like it's a chopped up dust bowl.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Glen Helen for a Northwest guy. Like we look, oh my gosh, it is Glen Helen.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
down there, I'm like, really?
You go, for me, you go to an East Coast round and your practice 1 on a 250, track's 10 feet deep and 10 ruts already by the first lap. And then you got bumps that are 10 feet high with ruts in them. And these guys grew up there, and it's just like, oh yeah, I ride that every day. I got that in my backyard. It's easy.
I feel like that's going to start to be the future of people training, is drifting that direction,
I
a little
think-
more east.
And then you even look about it with Supercross. You watch Supercross East Coast races, they're usually rutted up,
True,
but they do so good at it.
true.
Because they ride the softer, they ride the ruts, and it's like us riding Washougal. We all know how to ride a hardpack, but do we know how to ride loamy stuff? And usually every race on the outdoor circuit is loamy and deep and soft. And only Colorado, Washougal, and Paula are like the hardpack ones. Everything else is deep, loamy, really real motocross.
Yeah.
Like the old school motocross. And those kids that grew up on that, they're just better.
So back to electric.
Yeah.
We got to finish this. What do you think? Are we going to go electric? And if we do,
I don't think so.
are you going to race them?
No.
Why?
Why won't I race or why? I don't think we'll go because
I'm looking. Okay, so you look at cars. A Tesla P100 will literally destroy almost any car on the road by changing a button. I did an electric go.
Okay, but then how
so the
much are they
go
gonna
kart things.
cost?
Okay, we'll get to that. Okay.
and how much do they weigh?
have you
Aren't they
been-
massive? And I don't think because your local little mom and pop and son can go get a bike and just ride and have fun, but to constantly have to like a little 50 and recharge and I don't know. I don't think
So, no, that
family-
is
I don't think
legit.
it's family friendly.
That is very legit. But what if we have better battery technology? Because we have multiple companies that have been working on new battery technology to get away from lithium.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw, but there's a place in Cali that's been working on taking nuclear
California
waste.
can't even keep up their own electricity. I've been there when they had electric.
We tonight don't even need to go into that. But there's a company that they basically make diamonds in-house. They
Okay.
whatever they have their own process of creating lab diamonds. Okay, so they take nuclear waste, cover it with a diamond shell. Anyone who knows more about this than me, sorry if I'm butchering this, but basically they put a diamond shell on it to make it super hard and durable. Wrap it with a few different things, and then it's a normal looking battery on the outside.
Yeah.
And they say a AA battery can last you 7 to 10 years before needing recharge, and it's rechargeable. So if they get that down, here's why I think as soon as they get the battery technology better, I think we've pretty well tapped out what we can do with lithium. So if we come up with some other tech, like this whole nuclear thing,
Yeah.
they say a car battery could last you 6 months before you need to recharge your car. If they get that, and they
What's
get
the
it,
cost of that then?
okay.
I don't know. I don't know
So-
much about all that either. So.
Here's the thing. And this is all theoretical,
Yeah.
us
Yeah,
hanging
yeah,
out, whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
let's say they come up with a battery, and your bike is going to be $13,000, $13,500.
Yeah.
But you only need to recharge it every couple months, and you don't need to add any parts. You don't need to go clean your car, buy gas. You don't need to put in clutches. It doesn't have gears. It's a single speed. If that came, wouldn't that be worth it? Because then the cost and it would put companies out of business, like
Yeah.
who make all the performance parts.
Yeah.
But if we get to that, wouldn't that, take over? See me, I totally get, like, I still love a two-stroke.
Yeah.
I still love the premix smell. Dude, 32 to 1, for people who don't know, I actually run a 2-stroke clothing company. Like, I like 2 strokes. 4 strokes are simply a little more competitive.
Yep.
Is what it is. I still love the nostalgia of the
I
2-stroke.
loved riding my 2-stroke
The
recently.
Dream Race is amazing. Okay, this year was a little wet, but the Dream Race, 40
Super
people
bummed.
on the gate,
Super
all on
bummed.
125s,
Yeah, yeah.
is so much fun. I get it. However, I can't hate on the future because I can't control it. And I think the benefits of electric, if they get it down, would be less maintenance, and we could ride in more areas because the whole noise
that's
thing
true.
is now gone. It's going to be weird. Watching the electric 50 race at Loretta's was super trippy. You hear just, you just hear the wheels.
How you gonna tell? Because usually, like, if you're at local races, you just, if you're in your pit, you're just like, hey, what moto is it? And you're like, let me see. I hear 50s, or I hear high pitch, and the little guys, 50 class.
Well, you know, it's all going to be on our phone soon.
Yeah, but then you're just, but if they're all electric, and you're just like, are they racing? Are they not racing? And you miss your moto by like 10 because everything is quiet.
It's going to drop the adrenaline down because you kind of get hyped when you hear that noise. The
Hey, I
rev
got a
limiters.
story about that. Heart rate, national, LCQ, because I had to go to the LCQ. Bummed out about that at Paula. That didn't go so well. 170 on the line behind the 8
Before you took off?
before I took off. And my resting heart rate sits at like 54. And I've trained it, so I'm active, so my resting heart is pretty low. But man, I was just amped up because I haven't raced for a minute, so I'm not relaxed. I'm not confident. I'm not having a good time. I have to get top 4.
And you have to race a girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to keep
But
bringing it up
I
because it's
didn't.
been the
But
big...
that also, I totally forgot about that.
I'm
But-
harassing you.
No, it's all right. 170, because I wear it and I have it on my bar pad, so I could for motos, I could tell.
What do you wear?
This Polar watch. It's dead right now.
I use the Polar chest strap.
Yeah, it's both. I can wear this and it comes with this strap.
I have a different brand of wrist one, but I think the chest is, I like that one a little better. It's a weird feeling, especially to ride in, but I think it's more
I've
accurate.
done it forever, so it is more accurate. But yeah, it was 170. So yeah, that's just a heart rate.
I can one-up you on that, actually,
What?
because I'm a dumb individual, and I
that's
make
not my highest,
bad
though.
decisions.
That's not my highest for Soupy. Soupy.
Okay, so have you ever heard of weightlifters using smelling salts?
Smelling?
That's one of the big things. Almost all weightlifters, when they go for their max PR, use smelling salts.
someone told me.
Torque. Torque is actually a sponsor of
I got a
bunch of these
friend or
guys.
something, and they're just like, it's so dumb because people like they'll get ready to lift, and they're like, here, let's do this, and then they just go for it. It's like, is that what it is?
Yep.
It's like
So
it's like cocaine.
It's okay. So the biggest brand right now is Torque. I think it's TORQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And what it does is it's the same. Why it wakes you up, it jacks your adrenaline.
Yeah.
And if you want to go set a new PR, oftentimes you go do that. That'll help you get it. You'll just like, all right, let's go. So me, I didn't really think this through. I love to dabble with things. I mean, I try the peppermint oil sniff thing. I try
Yeah.
all sorts of different supplements, creatine, beta. I've
Jeez.
taken so much beta alanine, my toes felt numb and my fingers were tingling. I love to dabble in different supplements and weird things. So I remember listening to a podcast on my way to Tri-Cities to a race and like, oh, that makes sense. I picked up some smelling salts. I took it. Dude, I hit 208 in the first lap because I didn't think this through.
Yeah.
I got the whole shot, by the way.
Yeah.
I got the whole shot and was leading the 38
The
class.
whole shot probably came. The gate probably drops like slow as a fly's reaction.
Dude,
it probably
I
just
got
drops
the
so slow,
fattest
and you're just
whole
like,
shot.
oh, I'm just gonna go ride, and you're just all like butterflies and.
PRO round 1, I'm on the line. I'm like, I don't know if this is good, but I'm ready to kill everybody. And like I go and I ripped a 4-bike hole shot in the 38 class, and I lead by lap 2. I'm dying. I didn't finish lap 3. I pulled off and I started
no.
puking, and I'm shaking. And I hit 208 before I
Jeez.
pulled off because I didn't think about it. Like, yeah, it jacks your adrenaline, which jacks your heart rate, and I thought it was going to come out my chest.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there on the side, and the medic came and saw me. I'm like, just go away. I'm an idiot. I don't even want to know. Just
Highest.
it was so bad. I got a good hole shot, but
Dang.
it was my own fault, and I thought my heart was literally going to Have you ever had that where
too many energy drinks, or like you worked out too hard and you
pound
you
a Red
can't
Bull
breathe.
and go ride?
I've never even
get,
finished a full Red Bull my whole life. Or a Monster. I don't drink energy drinks.
You're in better shape than me. Okay.
You heard
Some
about
of
my
us need
stories about
caffeine.
selling stuff, like my Red Bulls and stuff on the school bus. No?
No. What?
Oh man, you missed out.
Okay, fill me in. You were a Red Bull dealer?
Okay, so PIR back in the day, and
I had no idea I had
Clark
drug
County.
dealers in the family.
yeah, no, good. Entrepreneur actually is the word I like to use.
We have a lot of those, but okay.
Okay, but I was in 3rd grade, so entrepreneur was probably better than a drug dealer.
Okay.
PIR had they did it for a couple years, but one time it all started in 3rd grade. But they would for races, instead of like trophies or shirts, they would give you a 24 case of Red Bull, or like Monster energy drinks, or I think Hindsight or something, or Clark County.
At 3rd grade, they would give that to you?
Well, no, not 3rd grade. Just PIR for a race.
I know, but like for the mini classes?
I think so,
I
dude.
don't think you're allowed to do that now.
I kept getting cases of free Red Bull and cases of Monster and Rockstar. Or we had just cases, 10 cases, just stacked. And
Okay.
just no one ever in my family drank them. So I'd go on the school bus, and I went to public school from 3rd to 5th. And I wanted to buy an Xbox. And I think the Xbox was $300 or $400, I don't know. And my parents, my mom, I think, said, okay, save up the money. And so I started selling Red Bulls on the school bus and at recess, and energy drinks. And I saved up money. But then we took it a step further. So she was all like, hey, you gotta like make a profit. So Red Bull at like a gas station's $2.50 or something. You gotta sell it for, just say, $3 or $3.50. You gotta up the price. You gotta make a profit. And so then I would start selling them to kids, and then they would want them, and then I would get like, hey, you want like 2 tomorrow? I'll bring 2 tomorrow. This is what I got. I got Rockstar also. I got Monster. Then she upped it by going to Costco and buying a big combo pack of candy bars. It was Babe Ruth, Payday, 100 grand or 1,000 grand, whatever that one is, and Twix or something like that, and Snickers, or I don't know if I said that.
Okay.
And so that box would be $24, $25, however that box is. You know, there's a lot of sorts of that candy. She would then give me the candy also to sell the candy, but then I'd also sell the candy bars X, so then I had to pay my mom back because she bought it for me, but then I also had to make a profit for the candy bars I sold and pay her back. So for a couple of years, I sold candy bars and energy drinks.
So you were a sugar and caffeine dealer.
And I got enough money to buy an Xbox and probably more stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I did that.
Why have I not heard about this?
I don't know, but I did that.
Okay, so I guess on that note, we're going to get out of this show and onto the after show because I think we're about up on time.
Okay.
I had no idea you were a drug dealer
Yeah.
in 3rd grade
Oh,
with candy
real
bars
quick.
and energy drinks.
Yes, and I broke a lot of bones. You probably know that. Well, as the Whartons broke a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I broke a wrist, and I still went to school, and I still want to participate in recess. And so I was playing basketball, and I went for a rebound, and I came down, and I smashed my buddy's arm, and I broke his wrist. So for free, as a parting gift, like I'm sorry, I gave him a couple Red Bulls, some candy, and the old school good toy motorcycles. You know, the ones where it still made the noise, the suspension, like the legit ones. You know, not the fake Moto champs or dirt champs.
Something champs. Yeah,
something
yeah.
champs.
We were talking about it 2 episodes ago
Yeah.
because my dad, I think, has every one.
And I still want them from your
I have
dad.
a McCormick one.
I have a McCormick one. I have the Travis Pastrana and the Bumblebee. I have a Jeremy McGrath.
I have a Gio Tedesco. I'm
I
going
know.
to sell that for a lot of money.
I have a Jeff Emig one. I have a Ricky Carmichael on.
All the midgets.
Back when it came with the chorus and it would make the noise and on the
Yeah, the track.
the
I have
plastic track.
the bolt together track.
Yep,
I have
yep,
that.
Yep, I still have that too. Not a lot of
It was
pieces.
only that big. It was pretty small, but you would bolt all the jumps together.
Yeah, so I gave him a toy dirt bike and some free stuff. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break your wrist, but yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know about any of this. Okay, so we got more for the after show, and we're actually going to do some hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
No, it won't be.
Yes, it will.
No.
Mason,
Baby.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This is always fun. We could
Yep.
do this for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm down.
And literally just talk mini racing and all that, whatever. But guys, Moto Monday, was it 128? We on 128, guys?
9? No.
128? Yeah. Good times.
Good times. It was fun.
We got a good looking Kawasaki here.
The best. The only brand you should ever ride.
I'm going gas.
Never rode one, so I can't.
It's a KTM now.
Oh.
But we'll talk more about that on the after show with our eggplant that we've yet to name.
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales, yes. Until then, you guys have a good night. Talk to you here in a few.
Bye.